Well, good morning, folks. Head out for a little bit of a kayak down towards the dam. Perfectly quiet morning. Had a nice coffee and cookie time while I did my morning study, and then I did breakfast. Retrieved my chair up on the hill and one piece of wood, my axe and bag of starter. So I'm pretty much ready to go as soon as I get back. And beautiful time of the day to be out and around there. You can see in the distance there that yellow line on the water. That's floats marking the entry to the dam area, and cautionary notes not to get too close. You can see the deadhead there on the left. That's a sign that this is a flooded lake. Not sure when that happened. I think early part of the century, if I recall. Last century, I should say. Seems to be still haze in the air, so there's must be some effect of smoke from fires up in the North Country. Pretty shallow in here. I had thought if that boat site had a boat on it, I'd come down here and anchor, but that wouldn't have worked. Looking for wildlife. Hoping to see something. Pretty shallow in here. Moose could wade right across. A lot of logs on the bottom here. Interesting. No ducks, no water birds. It's always puzzling to me, the lack of wildlife up in this neck of the woods. I've yet to see a bear, and this is my 4th trip. You'd think there'd be bears everywhere, but I suppose, it's just not. There's not a lot of critters, so there's not a lot of food. So maybe they're not as widespread as you might think. Beautiful day. Thank you, Lord, for this beautiful day. It's been a real blessing. This trip has started out with pretty rainy weather, but the last 4 or 5 days or better have been really good. Very, almost too warm in some cases, but we're not complaining. It's just been very pleasant. And I hope I get plenty of sun, because I lost my secondary solar panel. They're not, because I've lost one panel, I've lost them both. And not getting any charge on my solar battery. I messed around with it a little bit yesterday, changing cable connections, thinking maybe I just had a bad connection. But interesting thing is it comes on in the morning sometimes. It's like it's intermittent. I was going to stay here 2 days, but I'm not getting enough sun, and I'm short of sun, so I'm going to have to move on and find a more desirable site to get better sun. Hell, this is one place you'd really want to have a trip jug, but I lost my trip jug. Could probably, once I empty a milk container, I could use that. Flew down over this same area yesterday. I was just going to go down and see if I can. There's definitely a current here, so we will turn around. We're not going to mess around with that. I could out paddle it, but I'm not going to play chicken with the river here, so All right, let's head back over and see if we can figure out where to go. A little shorter jaunt than I thought it would be. I guess we could go over by the other shore here. I love these peaceful mornings on the water. So relaxing. I did see two kayakers yesterday. Came down, I think, from the boats that I passed quite a bit further up the lake. And I don't really know where to go today. I can think of one site back just a little bit, but there was a boat there, and unless they moved, that wouldn't be available. But I could at least check it out. That had a southern exposure. Nice big pines around here. Got pretty shallow back there by that rock. We'll head back so we don't have the sun right in our eyes. See the jugs out there, that white upriver there, that's marks that reef that I hit back in 2018. Somebody marked it, at least for this year. Normally the ice flow would take that out, but it's a nice site here, but very shaded. That's the problem, it's too shaded. And when you're on solar, shade's your enemy. Well, Lord, we just pray that those panels will begin working again. I need that solar energy. I set that up specifically for this trip, and they're failing on me. I can't believe it. They're not that old. They haven't been used that much. I think I used them for 2 years before I went to the fixed panels of 400 watts. So it's kind of a little discouraging to have that go bad on me. Going through the narrows just above the dam here. What was that? Oh, log. All right, let's see. Better get that out of there. Ran over a floating log. Yeah, it'll move away after we get going. Didn't see that one coming. All right, let's try it again here. Had a nice kayak this morning. The sun's still behind the trees here in this little valley, the old river channel. Not sure how far I'll go up here. I just need to get a spot where I have good sun because I'm way down, not way down, but I can't afford to not get sun when I can. Got sun today, and I thought I'd get more sun just coming down this yesterday morning, but it's too early. The angle of the sun is too low, so you don't get much effective power out of it. I may have to start putting the panels up, compensate. All right, there's that boat. Must be coming out of there. Yeah, coming out of there. So that site is open if I want to go in there. Well, I assume they're going. Yeah, they're going. And since I was here in 2018, somebody made a campsite on that little knob that comes out into the river right straight ahead of us there. This site here is a little too exposed for boat traffic coming up and down the river, so I would not be inclined to use it. But it's kind of scraggly. You can see there's at least one tree there that's been cut down. It may have been there in 2018, I don't know. I don't remember. It's not marked on the map, on Jeff's map, which is kind of the source for almost all of the information on this lake in terms of campsites and stuff. But you could pull in there and use it. I don't really see the campfire ring, but there's got to be one there someplace. Well, we'll check out this site that they used. This is a boat. I think I'll turn everything off though for right now until we get up there. That noise, that crack, when I put it in gear, I don't quite understand what that is. I don't see anything blocking the cables. Kind of another narrow channel here, part of the old riverbed. Well, the boat was coming out there. I thought it was the one that where I could pull in their place, but there's evidently was two boats in there. That plan is out. Now we're working on plan B, and I'm not really sure what that will be. It could be anchoring out. I've got one site that I can think of that would work, so we'll go check it out. I'm a little disappointed. I wasn't planning to go that far today. It is what it is, so we'll play it by ear and try to find an alternate site that has good sun, and the bonus might have a north sky that's open. We'll see. Pretty narrow in here, and even at 10:20, see, the sun is still really low in the sky. Trees are blanking it out. It's one of the reasons I'm running into solar issues. I need a full day of sun, regenerate that battery, and I need my back panel to be restored so I have some power there. I don't think I can take it apart. The only thing I can think of is it maybe got water in the connectors, or there's a loose connection. Way to fix it. I just can't think of anything. They're kind of enclosed units, and the only really are the connecting points that I just mentioned, and that's pretty protected. I think they're in an enclosed molded box. They're not serviceable, I don't think. So now that boat that I saw go out earlier is ahead of us there. I think you can see him in the distance off to the left a little bit of the bow. There were two other boats up in there. Maybe that was one of them. He came down to look. I have a feeling that was just a separate boat. I just didn't see the other one, I think. Well, we'll step it up a little bit. Yeah, okay, that boat's still there. It looks like he's pulling out. No, he's still stuck in there. So that's one of the boats that I saw. Looks like a lot of these boats stay put. I tend to cruise around. I like to explore and look at new sites. I need to look a little closer at that motor and see if I can figure out what's causing the cracking. Well, there is that site there, so that's another one. Just around the bend off the port, beyond this boat that you're seeing on the left, there's another site, which would also be a possibility. So we'll take a look. That one does face south. this should work. I'm getting sun now, but we'll see how long that. May have to switch boats positions around to maximize the sun. So we'll see how that goes, but at least we have good exposure to the south. So I should get pretty good sun off this. And I can swivel the boat because this top provides shade later when the angle of the sun gets low. Or I can tilt the panels up too. That may be the thing that I'm gonna have to do. So we'll see how that goes, but nice big pines again here. Looks like a good site. So the main reason for the move, as you could kind of tell from the conversation, is to maximize the sun, and try to get my batteries up. The main house battery is a large lithium ion, 230 watt hours, or amp hours, I should say. And so I need to try to get that up if I can. So I may have to tilt the panels to maximize sun later in the day. We'll see how that works. Right now it's at an angle, so turn off the satellite tracking, and we'll maybe talk to you guys a little later this afternoon. Hello folks, turn the camera around. We're going to just do a little quick survey of the site. There's a lot of trash at this particular site I'm not pleased with. I've got the boat angled. You can see that the solar panels are up to try to get the best solar energy that I can, and I'm doing pretty well right now. Last I looked, it was at 14.4 volts, which I think is pretty well full, so that's a good thing. Anyway, I just take the lines there and angle the boat to get the maximum energy that I can, rather than flipping the panels around and doing it as the sun moves. I just move the boat around. In this case, releasing the starboard line and then pulling in on the port. Anyway, that's an overview. And tonight we'll have a fire. I've got the wood out there drying to help it burn a little bit. And I've got my solar panel, trying to soak up as much energy as I can on that, because I use that for recharging the laptop, my drone batteries. That's what it's primarily been used for now. And I can use it as a backup for my Starlink if it comes to that. I'll go down here a little bit and see if we can get a better angle of the boat. I'm going to probably jump in and go swimming later because it's nice and warm and water temperature's coming up. So we'll do that later. Another shot of the boat. Like I said, I just take those stern lines and adjust them to get the angle that I want with the solar panels. And that's been working out real well today. So the move up here was important. I needed to come up here to maximize to get the battery recharged. The primary battery is the house 230 amp hour battery, and it takes a lot to drain it, but it takes a lot to charge it too. So I'm hoping I'm going to get plenty of energy today. And then tomorrow I think we're supposed to get more sun, so that should work. Tomorrow I'll move down to what I think is the old site that if I can get into it, it's called Blue Bay. We should have sun almost all the way down there on that too. But I do lower the panels when I'm moving. Probably don't need to if the wind is up, but then when you get to where you're going, you don't know if those panels are going to be angled the right way or not. So although if I know where I'm going to tie up, that will be the right angle. Anyway, we'll talk to you later. Oh, good evening, folks. I'm waiting for sundown to start the fire. Had the wood drying out here this afternoon in the sun, so it should light off pretty quickly. And just sipping some red wine while I wait. It's been very warm, in the low 80s, warm enough that I went swimming. It was very refreshing. I lingered a little bit longer today because the water was pretty nice, actually. Had a visitor, a kayaker, came by that admired the boat, wanted to take a closer look. So I talked with him for a little bit, and then he left. Him and his wife are on a Leisure Island houseboat just down around the corner. Just got done looking at charts for tomorrow, trying to decide where to go. And I need to figure out a place where I can get good internet. So for Sunday, I'm going to be wanting to do a Zoom call if I have good Starlink connection with my family. Usually I do once a month with the family, and then once a month with my own children too. So we'll see how that works out. It's supposed to be sunny again tomorrow. I was able to bring up the solar energy pretty good today, so we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Anyway, that's enough for now. We'll probably film the fire when I get it going later on. Talk to you tomorrow for sure. Beautiful evening. Moon rising, water calm, occasional loon calls, temperatures moderate, very enjoyable. This one tree I've cut up, I've had, this is the fourth campfire I've had now with that one tree. Basically cut the whole tree up and split the wood. So I got a lot of firewood out of that tree. I'll need to find another one like that.